Hello everyone, and welcome to UNSW's Year 12 information session, where we will talk you through everything you need to be across when exploring your next steps after high school. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the Bidjigal, Gadigal and Ngunnawal people who are the traditional custodians of the land in which UNSW campuses reside on. I would also like to pay my respects to the elders both past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are joining us today. My name's Gabby, and I am the Events and Recruitment Officer in the Domestic Undergraduate space within our UNSW Future Students team. Our team have the pleasure of providing all the information you need to make an informed decision about your university choices. Now, what to expect from the Year 12 information session? Well, we will help you navigate choosing your dream degree and talk you through some preferencing tips. We also will be joined by key UNSW speakers who will talk us through various opportunities and pathways, such as the Gateway Admissions Pathway and Program, Co-op, Scholarships, Nura, Gili and UNSW College. We will conclude this session with a Q&A with some of our current UNSW students. So please drop your questions into the chat throughout this presentation so we can answer them all at the end. Or our wonderful colleagues in the wings will write responses in the chat throughout this session. So get ready and take some notes. We have lots of information in store for you. To start, let me introduce you briefly to UNSW. UNSW was founded in 1949 as a technical institution to focus on science and engineering after the war, due to a shortage in the Australian workforce. Since then, we've come a long way and have over 70,000 students taking more than 300 degree and degree combinations. It's safe to say we've made some serious progress. In 2025, we are a top 20 global university and are ranked first in Australia for career outcomes. We also have the highest number of graduates in the AFR Top 100 Most Employable Graduates for the last 6 years running and produce the most CEOs of any university in Australia. We're making global connections too, with over 300 exchange partners in more than 35 countries. We would love for you to join us and keep making progress for all. Now, I would like to welcome Kelly to talk us through choosing your dream degree.
Thanks, Gabby. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly, a current aerospace and nuclear engineering student here at UNSW. I'll be running you through a few tips and tricks on how to choose your dream degree. Navigating degrees can be quite daunting, but it's important to explore all your options and really ask yourself what your dream career is. For me, it was my interest in aircraft engines, which had led me to aerospace. This might also be two different industries, and a double degree might be the perfect choice to combine both your passions. And it's also important for you to know your pathways that you may be eligible for. Knowing where your selection rank or ATAR is likely to land can help you find the right degree. By also attending Open Day on the 6th of September, you can also experience what it is like to be a student like me for a day, and you may be curious about what campus life is like and have some unanswered questions where you can ask at our faculty centres. So here at UNSW, we have 300 plus degree and degree combinations, and these are organised into faculties. We have first arts, design and architecture, offering 50 diverse disciplines from linguistics to industrial design, and they prepare students by providing many work-integrated and internship initiatives. Our business school is ranked first in Australia, the flagship degree being the Bachelor of Commerce, which incorporates the Career Accelerator program and enables students to connect with industry professionals. Engineering is my home faculty. We have the largest faculty and engineering school in the Southern Hemisphere with over 19 specialisations with new and emerging fields like quantum and aerospace engineering. We support student projects through the Challenge program and gain real-world experience while at university. Law and Justice encapsulates our double law degree, which broadens the application of practice into another field. They also have strong focus on social and criminal justice, learning all about the criminal system. Students learn in a small class format to simulate how you would practice law in the future. Medicine and Health offers pharmacy, optometry and physiotherapy, to name a few. However, our flagship degree is the undergraduate medicine degree. There is a real-world hands-on experience with clinical engagements in leading hospitals. Science has over 26 disciplines offering a range of specialist degrees like psychology, aviation, data science and more. We have 400 plus industry partners to network in both industry and research. UNSW Canberra is where you can study while undergoing military training in collaboration with the Defence Force. Double degrees are a perfect way to explore your passions here at UNSW without double the course load. You're able to open more doors and expand your knowledge here at UNSW. We have 3 adjustment factor schemes that can be used towards your admission. However, it is capped at 12 points across all 3. HSC Plus is automatically applied, which calculates adjustment factors based on your performance in the HSC. For example, if you apply for engineering, if you do well in maths or physics, you may be awarded adjustment factors towards your degree. However, a maximum of 5 is awarded, and to check how you may be eligible, check out our calculator online. The Elite Athletes, Performers and Leaders recognises achievements in extracurricular activities that you may have taken time out of your studies to complete. This includes leadership, music or sports. However, this is not an exhaustive list, so apply by the 30th of November. The Educational Access Scheme recognises long-term educational disadvantages, which may have impacted your years of Year 11 and 12, and this is a separate UAC application that may award up to 10 adjustment factors based on your application. You won't be told how many points you have been allocated, but you will be told whether you are eligible or not. All this information and more about our eligible degrees under each scheme can be found on our Future Students website. Here at UNSW, we do not have any prerequisites, meaning you are not required to do any HSC subjects to be eligible for our degrees. However, we have assumed knowledge. This means that if you study an engineering degree like myself, lecturers will assume you have done Maths Extension 1 and teach beyond that point. But don't worry, bridging courses can help you build your foundations in confidence in maths, physics and chemistry. However, this is very optional. Some degrees need additional selection criteria. Aviation flying requires an interview and a medical exam. Law degrees require students to sit the law admissions test, assessing critical reasoning, interpreting texts, and communicating arguments. The LAT is a sliding scale, so if you get a high ATAR, you don't need just as high of a LAT score, and vice versa. However, we encourage you to do strongly in both. Medicine degrees require the UCAT, and with the ATAR it is assessed together to offer you an invitation to an interview to assess your admission. Music requires an online music test and an audition, and if you're applying to UNSW Canberra at ADFA, it also requires you to apply through the Defence Force in a separate portal, and it's quite a long process, so I'd strongly encourage you to start soon. Co-op degrees will be discussed later. However, the application process is also quite lengthy, with a video interview, a letter from your careers advisor, and some short questions. So, what does getting an offer at UNSW kind of look like? We assess your admission by the selection rank, which is your raw ATAR plus any adjustment factors you may be eligible for. UNSW does not have guaranteed entry. We use 2025 lowest selection ranked as an indicator to show what is competitive for entry into each degree. However, we offer early conditional offers, which is through our portfolio and critical thinking entry schemes. This is for students interested in arts design and architecture, engineering or criminology and criminal justice, expecting an ATAR within 10 points of the selection rank. So, how to apply? 1. Complete your portfolio entry submission and apply through UAC. Make sure that the degree is listed as your highest eligible preference to receive an offer. 2. Prepare and submit your application, whether this be a creative portfolio of your works, a personal statement, or a short video. 3. If your submission is successful, you will be issued an early conditional offer with the adjusted ATAR requirements, and you will need to meet the adjusted ATAR to be eligible for the degree. And remember to list it as your highest eligible preference by December round 2 to receive a firm offer. I hope these tips and tricks have been helpful. Best wishes to your studies and good luck for the HSC. I'll see you all at Open Day. I'll hand it off to Gateway now.
Thanks so much, Kelly. As you've just heard, my name is Annika Rowe-Kortemat, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about the Gateway Admission Pathway. The Gateway Admission Pathway is an alternative entry pathway to UNSW. The Gateway Admission Pathway has 2 types of offers. The first is an early offer, and the second is an early conditional offer. An early offer is an offer at UNSW with no ATAR requirement. You must still sit the HSC and receive an ATAR, but we will not see your ATAR. An early conditional offer is an offer with an adjusted ATAR requirement. So for example, the lowest selection rank for double law in 2024 was 94.25, and the adjusted ATAR for the Gateway Admission Pathway applicants was 85. The 2025 adjusted ATARs can be found on the UNSW website. So we have 2 offer rounds for the Gateway Admission Pathway. Round 1 will open on April 10th and close July 23rd, and Round 2 will open September 4th and close November 12th. To apply for the Gateway Admission Pathway, we look at your Year 11 results and a personal statement. You then apply for the Gateway Admission Pathway via the Gateway portal. You're eligible for the Gateway Admission Pathway if you are an Australian citizen, resident or New Zealand citizen, completing an Australian Year 12 qualification in the year of your application and attend a Gateway partner school, or live in a low socioeconomic address based on CEFA criteria, or identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. To confirm your eligibility, please visit the UNSW Gateway website and complete the question form. Once you confirm that you are eligible for the Gateway Admission Pathway, you apply through the Gateway portal. To apply, you'll preference 2 UNSW degrees that you wish to be considered for and upload your personal statement. Your personal statement includes responses to 3 questions, and to support the completion of your personal statement, you can attend the Year 12 Gateway program or visit the UNSW Nail It app. Your application will then be considered along with your Year 11 results, which we receive directly from UAC. Successful applicants will receive an early offer or an early conditional offer and priority for UNSW equity and accommodation scholarships. Now, to support your journey through Year 11 and 12, register for our Year 11 and 12 Gateway programs, where you will access HSC masterclasses, academic enrichment activities, and support for applying for the Gateway Admission Pathway. You'll also discover more about UNSW, our faculties and degrees, and meet current university ambassadors who came through the UNSW Gateway Admission Pathway. There is financial support as well available to students who apply through the Gateway Admission Pathway. The Advantage Award is a $10,000 award for all students who live in eligible low socioeconomic addresses who receive an offer from UNSW and enrol in Term 1 2026. The Gateway Award is a $1,000 award for all students who attend a Gateway school, apply through the Gateway Admission Pathway, and also enrol in UNSW in Term 1 2026. Students who are eligible for both awards will receive both awards. More information about the Gateway program and the Gateway Admission Pathway can be found on the UNSW website. And I'd now like to pass over to Erin to discuss UNSW scholarships. Thanks.
Thank you, Annika. Hi, I'm Erin and I'm from the Scholarships Office. Today I'll be providing you with some key information about our scholarships here at UNSW. Each year, UNSW offers millions of dollars in scholarships supporting undergraduate and postgraduate coursework students in a variety of areas. Through scholarships, we are able to recognise achievement, provide financial support, promote diversity and make tertiary study accessible. Our scholarships are valued at a minimum of $5,000 per annum, and in most cases will be paid as a stipend to help you with the costs associated with studying at university. There are a large range of equity and merit scholarships available in the areas you can see listed here. While we hope that many of you will be offered a scholarship when you start at UNSW, there are also opportunities to receive scholarships as a current student. For example, we have scholarships to support you going on exchange or to help you undertake an honours year, or even a research project. So make sure you keep checking our website throughout your studies to see these opportunities. So let's talk about how you can be considered for a merit scholarship. The first way is by submitting a direct application to the UNSW Scholarships website by the closing date listed in the scholarship ad. In your application, you will be asked about 4 key areas which are highlighted here: the academic merit, leadership skills, extracurricular activities, and your reasons for studying at UNSW. You will need to provide documentation to support your application, as we can only credit achievements that we can verify. If you're not sure what documents to provide, you can refer to our supporting documents guidelines available on our scholarships ads, as we offer you some examples. Remember, the list is only a guide and is not exhaustive. If you don't see your activity listed there, Still include it in your application and provide supporting documents so that we can consider it. The second way to be considered for merit scholarships is through automatic selection. These scholarships generally don't require an application and you'll be automatically considered based on the scholarship criteria and your application for admission to UNSW. The scholarship advertisement will state if the scholarships will be awarded this way, so please just make sure you read through them carefully. Here are some of our key tips for applying for merit scholarships. The best time to apply for scholarships is when you're also applying to study at UNSW. Scholarships for students starting in 2026 start opening on July 1st and will generally close by the September 30th. If you wait until you're receiving your ATAR and your admissions offer to apply for your scholarship, you might find that you've missed out on some really great opportunities, so make sure you get in there early. The scholarship ads contain all the eligibility, selection criteria, method of application and closing dates that you need, so make sure you read through them carefully. Make sure you provide comprehensive answers with recent and relevant examples from your high school experience from Year 10 onwards. Ensure that you've also uploaded supporting documentation and refer to the guide for tips on how to provide this. Lastly, save regularly. You never know when your Wi-Fi might drop out and you don't want to risk losing all your hard work. For this reason, we would also recommend that you submit your application in advance of the 5 p.m. deadline, as we cannot accept late applications. UNSW offers many equity scholarships to new undergraduate students, and there are a few ways to apply for them. If you're a Year 12 student from a low SES background, UAC will automatically create an Educational Access Scheme application for you when you apply for admission to UNSW. If you've applied through the Gateway Admissions pathway, your application will also be considered for equity scholarships. But if you're not from a low SES background, participating in the Gateway pathway, or if there are any additional circumstances that you would like us to know about, we would recommend that you submit an EAS or equity scholarship application. To do this, you'll need to apply directly to UAC and demonstrate at least one of the circumstances listed. The key difference between these two schemes is that EAS focuses on your high school experience, whereas equity scholarships considers factors that may affect your university studies. We encourage you to apply for whichever scheme best suits your circumstances. Remember, you can also apply for equity scholarships during your studies, and we would encourage you to do so that you can continue to be considered for these scholarships. Now I'd like you to take note of our upcoming closing dates for Term 1 2026 scholarships, as they may be a little bit earlier than you expected. These dates are subject to change, particularly where they're governed by UAC, so always refer back to our website for the most up-to-date information. Remember, if you have any questions about scholarships or how to apply, please reach out to our team so that we can help you. Thank you. I'll now pass you over to our co-op team.
Thank you. Hi there, my name is Angela and I'm a 4th and final year Co-op Scholar in the Accounting and Business Management stream, and I'm here today to tell you more about the Co-op Scholarship Program. The UNSW Co-op Scholarship Program is a career development scholarship that produces young professionals with experience and an edge. The Co-op Scholarship Program has evolved because major companies want students who are not only good at theory, but also have the necessary practical skills and management capabilities to operate effectively in the workplace from day one. The theoretical knowledge that you acquire at university is extremely useful and necessary, but can often be very different to the practical real world. Co-op scholars leave university with a really impressive resume of multiple placements within their sector, and this sets them apart from other graduates. The co-op program gives companies the chance to work with some of the best and brightest students at UNSW. Students who are selected to be co-op scholars are highly sought after when they graduate due to their professional development and experiences. And in fact, most co-op graduates receive multiple job offers, some at the very beginning of their final year of study, without even having to apply. I know from my experiences, I've been fast-tracked in my graduate recruitment experience because I was able to get an offer from the first company that I'd worked at as part of the co-op program. The co-op program is an industry-linked scholarship, which means that you get an annual scholarship payment when studying at university, which is up to $21,600 per annum. You also get up to 18 months of real-world industry experience with different sponsors. Over 80 companies currently sponsor the co-op program, and so you get to gain experience working for well-known companies such as Atlassian, Coca-Cola, Honeywell, Affinity, JP Morgan, or even TikTok, just to name a few. We also have leadership and professional development programs which run from day one through to graduation, and this helps you further your skills and gain a solid foundation towards your career. Often students struggle to get their foot into the door at these companies that they're interested in, but with the co-op program, there are so many opportunities and events for you to meet industry sponsors and build relationships and a network which can start and last your entire career. We also have a mentorship program with co-op alumni as mentors, people who have been where you are and know how to make the most of every experience and build upon your success. Of course, co-op scholars have lots of fun too. You can make friendships which will last a lifetime both within your program and across other areas you wouldn't ordinarily get to meet. And so, what does co-op look for? Don't listen to the rumors, it's not just about your marks. The co-op program is looking for passion and for you to have an understanding of the area that you're applying for. We also look for all-rounders who have interests inside and outside of the classroom. And of course, we're looking for students who meet the eligibility criteria. When you apply for the co-op program, you apply for a single degree. We have different streams across 3 faculties, which are business, engineering, and science. These are the programs that are currently sponsored in the majority of the year and that we receive scholarships in. However, if there's anything that's not offered, it would be noted in the application system in that application year. Information about these co-op programs are detailed on our website, including a list of the companies that sponsor each of these programs. As highlighted earlier, it's not just about the marks. Co-op scholars go beyond academic success. This is because they're involved in community and they balance their academics with their extracurriculars. And usually that's something such as a part-time job, public speaking, sport, volunteering, music, or even a position in the SRC. And it can be anything that you're passionate about. It doesn't matter what you do or how you're involved. It's most important to demonstrate what you will learn, how you will take away from those experiences, and how this will contribute to your development. And some common characteristics that co-op scholars have include being ambitious, motivated, being passionate, being a good communicator and a potential leader, being a high achiever and an innovator, and also being active in your school and local community. And some important tips that we have to maximize your chances is to firstly be authentic to yourself to stand out from the pack. Give some practical examples of your achievements using the STAR technique, which involves outlining the situation, the task, the action, and then the results. Show your passion for your discipline stream, that's the why you're motivated, and research the co-op program throughout our website to be able to demonstrate your understanding of the program and the sponsors in your application. We also recommend that you reflect upon your personal experiences and learnings, and ensure that your application is well written by proofreading and ensuring that it's not reliant on artificial intelligence. Candidates for the scholarship program are selected not only on the basis of their academic abilities, but also as well their communication skills, their community involvement, motivation, leadership potential, and other achievements. The minimum academic requirement is a 96 ATAR or equivalent, unless the entry to the degree is higher. And if you're eligible for our equity pathways from a gateway school, or if you identify as an Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander, there are adjustment entry points, and you can check our website for more details on this. Students do need to gain entry into their degree without the existence of adjustment factors, except for EAS. The co-op program has a separate application, so firstly you need to register online to start your application through the co-op website. You then need to nominate your careers advisor or your year-level coordinator to complete your school assessment page. If you do move on to the interview stage, you'll be asked to complete a video snapshot from there. Here are some co-op key dates. Applications open on the 1st of May and close on the 30th of September. I really encourage you to start your application sooner rather than later. Our interview briefing day will likely be held on the 25th of November, and in-person interviews will be on the 26th of November. With the dates to be confirmed once HSC exams are advised, these details will be released on our website, in addition to the co-op career-based events that you can attend as a student this year. While you're there, I encourage you to go to the frequently asked questions section because this has a wealth of information for you to explore. And so, best of luck with your applications, and if you do need further assistance, the Co-op team is readily available to help you out. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for that information, Angela. My name is Natalie Rolani Golding. I'm a proud Biripi woman from the mid-north coast of Taree. I work here at Nura Gili as an outreach officer.
My name's Christy. I'm a proud Darug woman and a recruitment officer at Nura Gili.
Nura Gili is our home on campus, located in the heart of UNSW's Kensington campus. It is a place of cultural inclusion and safety, a deep sense of belonging and connection to the Indigenous communities that is built upon respect for all Indigenous students at the university. In the language of Eora people, Nura means place and Gili means fire and light.
Nura Gili also offers pathways into university for Indigenous students. Our two main entry pathways are Indigenous pre-programs and the Indigenous Admission Scheme, also known as IAS. Nura Gili's Indigenous pre-programs is a 3-week intensive residential program held at our Kensington campus in Sydney. It's designed for students wanting to gain entry into medicine, law, business, social work, engineering, science, and education without the need for an ATAR. Throughout the 3 weeks, students will attend faculty-specific classes, engage with academics, participate in tutorials, and complete assessments. Then, at the end of the 3 weeks, they will then have an opportunity to interview with faculty members for a place in their chosen degree. More than just a university pathway, pre-programs is an opportunity to connect with students from around the country, build relationships with faculty, and become a part of a supportive community. Pre-programs is completely fee-free, with Nura Gili covering the cost of flights, accommodation and catering throughout the whole 3 weeks. This year, pre-programs will run from Monday the 17th of November through till Friday the 5th of December. Participants are expected to attend the entire program, as missing multiple days can result in withdrawal from the program.
For students looking to study outside the areas Christy's mentioned, such as arts, design, architecture, health, criminology, criminal justice, and the Australian Defence Force Academy, students can apply through IAS. IAS is an interview-based entry pathway where students complete an application and attend an interview online or in person with a faculty representative and a Nura Gili staff member. Interviewers consider applications assumed on knowledge, relevant life work, educational and training experience as readiness for study. Applications for IAS will open in the beginning of September and the interviews will be held towards the end of November and early December.
To apply for both programs, students must first apply online via UAC and then online via the Nura Gili website. As part of this online application process, students will be required to provide a personal statement and supporting documents, including a resume and school reports. Applicants for both programs are also required to provide confirmation of Aboriginality documentation. Due to the historical nature of our people's history, we understand that sometimes obtaining official documentation can be challenging. Therefore, we accept either a letter of confirmation provided by an Indigenous community organisation stamped with the organisation's common seal, or a stat dec with additional evidencing documents. Once applications are received by Nura Gili will then contact the applicants with next steps in the process.
If you have any further questions about Nura Gili or our pathways, please feel free to reach out to us or give us a call. We look forward to having you a part of our Nura Gili family. I will now pass it on to Vivek, who will now talk about the UNSW's college.
3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, my name is Vivek, Domestic Student Recruitment Manager at UNSW College. I'm here to discuss how UNSW College provides a supported and direct pathway to UNSW Sydney. Year 12 can be a stressful period and sometimes university entry doesn't go as planned, but the good news, there's more than one way to get into UNSW. At UNSW College, we provide a direct pathway to UNSW Sydney via our diplomas, so you can start your university journey with confidence without losing any time or compromising the quality of your education. So let's break down the timeline from starting your UNSW College diploma to completion of your UNSW Sydney bachelor degree. The 12-month diploma is equivalent to the respective first-year UNSW bachelor degree. You'll be studying the same university-level subjects with added guidance compared to the first-year bachelor degree student. Upon completion and achieving the respected diploma weighted average mark, you'll move straight into the respective second year UNSW bachelor degree, so you won't add any additional time to your studies or have to repeat any courses. Upon successful completion of your degree, you'll graduate with a UNSW degree, the same qualification as students who entered directly. So maybe you've set your sights on UNSW, but you're not sure if you'll meet the ATAR requirement for your first preference at UNSW, or maybe you just want a smoother, more supported transition to university. That's where UNSW College comes in. For over 60 years, UNSW College has been the leading university pathway provider for students working towards their dream degree at UNSW Sydney. We are entirely owned by UNSW and provide university-level world-class education. You will transition into the second year of your bachelor degree at UNSW and still graduate on time and with the same degree as students who directly enter the bachelor degree. The classroom sizes are smaller, which means you'll receive more focused support and a personalised learning experience. Our supportive environment will help you to settle into tertiary study easily, while the diploma will help ensure that you have the skills you need to thrive in your UNSW bachelor degree. You'll be part of the UNSW community from day one, where you'll study on campus and have full access to all UNSW and UNSW College facilities and resources. You'll have more time for learning with up to 25 hours of teaching time per week, so you'll get extra time to fully understand your coursework and build confidence. Our academic staff are highly qualified and many of them also teach at UNSW, so you're learning from teachers who understand the requirements of university study. UNSW College diplomas lead directly into some of UNSW's most in-demand degrees, which are architecture, business, computer science, engineering, media and communications, and science. If you're aiming for one of these fields, UNSW College gives you a way to get there, even if your ATAR isn't quite what you expect. There are two ways you can study a diploma with us, either via the Gateway Admissions pathway or Diploma Direct Entry. Either diploma entry option will allow you to move straight into the respective second year UNSW bachelor degree. To be eligible for the Gateway Admissions pathway, you must be from a Gateway partner school or live in a low socioeconomic or rural area. For direct entry, it's open to all domestic students who meet the admissions requirement. The minimum entry requirement for Gateway diplomas is only ATAR based. With direct entry, it is ATAR based with additional mathematics requirements for our STEM diplomas. Gateway students are entitled to Commonwealth supported places for both the diploma and the UNSW degree, with a HEX help loan applicable to cover both fees. Direct entry students can use fee help to cover the diploma tuition fees and will receive a Commonwealth supported place for their UNSW degree. Both Gateway and direct entry diploma students will receive the same student support and progress directly into their respective second year UNSW bachelor degree with a required weighted average mark of 50 in all diplomas except Diploma of Business requiring a weighted average mark of 60. The intake dates available for Gateway diplomas are only in Term 1 of January. Listed are the Diploma Gateway and ATAR entry requirements ranging from 60 to 75. The intake dates available for the Diploma Direct Entry are Term 1 January, Term 2 May and Term 3 September. Architecture and Landscape Architecture aren't available respectively in the May and September intakes. Listed are the Direct Entry Diploma ATAR entry requirements ranging from 65 to 70. For our STEM diplomas, Computer Science, Engineering and Science, there is an additional mathematics requirement which is at least a Band 3 in 2-unit mathematics and at least a Band 2 in Extension Mathematics or a Band 1 in Extension 2 Mathematics. Your future at a World Top 20 university is a lot closer than you think. If this sounds like the right fit for you, here's how you can find out more. Email us at askus@unswcollege.edu.au or visit our website for program details and applications. Thank you for joining us today. We hope to welcome you at UNSW College. I'll now pass you over to Gabby.
Thanks, Vivek, for the latest information about UNSW College. I hope you're all taking lots of notes back at home. This year's Year 12 information session has been jam-packed with our various offerings. So, you're probably thinking, how exactly do I preference the degrees I want to study? So, you may remember from earlier tonight, your admissions into UNSW is based on your selection rank, the combination of your raw ATAR plus adjustment factors you may be eligible for. Let's run through an example. This student received a raw ATAR of 84, and they've received 11 points from the adjustment factors. This means their selection rank is a 95. This student's dream degree is the double degree in engineering and commerce. And they've put it right at the top as their number one preference. They've put down 4 other preferences for degrees that they're also interested in. So, after this student had submitted their preference, the lowest selection rank was 93, which means that this student is competitive for their dream degree of engineering and commerce. If you have a look at the rest of the degrees this student has preferenced, since the student selection rank is higher than all of the lowest selection ranks, it actually means they are competitive for each degree they have listed down. However, in each other round, you will only be able to receive one offer for one of those degrees, your highest eligible preference. This means the student will only receive an offer for their first preference. Let's have a look at a slightly different example. This preference list is from the same student, but they weren't too confident in their ability to get the selection rank they needed for their dream degree. So instead, they put down their dream degree of engineering and commerce as their third preference and listed 2 safety net degrees as their first and second preference. Once again, this student will be competitive for engineering and the commerce degree. But they're also still competitive for all their other preferences, which means that they will only receive an offer for their first preference and not their dream degree. Bummer, I know. But don't worry, they have the chance to change their preferences around and reapply in the next offer round. So, let's take a look at a third and final example. This particular student achieved a raw ATAR of 84 and has gained 3 extra adjustment factors. So they now have a selection rank of 87. Once again, they've put down their 5 preferences. And unfortunately, we can see the lowest selection rank for their first preference is a 93. Which means they are not competitive for their first preference. The same goes for their second preference, and they are not competitive for this either. However, you can see the lowest selection rank for their third preference, the Bachelor of Food Science Honours, is an 85, which means they are competitive for this preference. Likewise, they're also competitive for their preference 4 and 5 as well, which means they will receive an offer for their highest eligible preference, which was food science, their third preference. So, just to recap, let's go through some of our top tips around preferencing. Treat this like a wish list. We encourage you to place what you really want to study at the top of your preferencing list. Don't count yourself out. Back yourself and make sure you put down the degrees you want, regardless of the lowest selection ranks or what you estimate your selection to be. Remember to be realistic with your choices and know your selection rank. Lower selection ranks can change year to year, so it's not the be-all and end-all, but they give you a pretty good idea as to what you should be aiming for. It's always good to have a safety net, a preference or 2 towards the bottom of your list that might give you a better chance of receiving an offer. But remember, there's multiple offer rounds, so you will have more opportunities to change your preferences around, and you should only be applying to the degrees you're genuinely interested in, because you never know what preference you might be offered. On this note, let's dive into our Q&A. I can see there's lots of questions that have been flowing through our chat. To help answer these questions, I would like to invite our current UNSW students, Kelly and Arnav, to come to the studio and take a seat with me. Thank you so much, Kelly and Arnav, for joining us, myself, for the Q&A session. We have extra members in the wings that are just filtering through the questions that are flowing in through the chat. So whilst they're getting that prepared, why don't we just start with a little introduction. Arnav, how about you go first?
Sure. So my name is Arnav, and I'm currently in my final year, or my 4th year, studying a double degree with the Bachelor of Actuarial Studies and the Bachelor of Commerce. And I've had a really good time at UNSW, and I'm quite sad that it's wrapping up in my final year, but hopefully I've got a little bit of experience that I can share with everyone today.
Lovely. Kelly, over to yourself.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Kelly. I'm currently in my 4th and almost final year, so penultimate year of study. I do a Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering and a minor in Nuclear Engineering. I'm just a little bit short of graduating, but I still have my honours to do, so I would like to kind of try one of our many thesis projects and kind of make my last year really, really good.
I love that. Probably quite a nice time having you guys here for the Q&A, because our audience, they're Year 12 members, so you would remember, I guess, that's a different transition time from high school to university. So I guess whilst the questions are being selected, let's go back to when you guys were in Year 12. What made you realise that, I guess, UNSW was going to be a good fit for you, and what you were looking for at the time?
Yeah, I'll take that. So when I was in Year 12, I was thinking about what I want to study, and I narrowed it down to studying business, and I was really interested in that Bachelor of Actuarial Studies. And both of those accumulated really well within UNSW. It's known so much for its business school, particularly that Bachelor of Actuarial Studies program, and also its location. You know, it's a nice consideration to have how you're going to make your way to uni, and the public transport facilities for UNSW have been really great.
Yeah. Anything to add, Kelly?
Yeah, I think especially with engineering, we have one of the biggest schools for aerospace engineering. So when I was in high school, my brother really strongly recommended me coming to Open Day, which I'll also strongly recommend to you all as well. I got to see a lot of the lecturers that I would be taught by, as well as the Bankstown Airport facilities that we're able to use as students. So that really motivated me to come into UNSW and study aerospace.
Yeah, nice. So let's kick off. What are some of the entry requirements to study at UNSW? I know, Kelly, we did touch on this a little earlier in the evening with your particular presentation. But let's have a little dive now into, I guess, any entry requirements that UNSW meet, but also where can we find that information if you're a Year 12 student?
Yeah. So especially what I said a bit before as well, we do have no prerequisites, so you don't need to study anything in Year 11 and 12 to kind of be eligible for any of our degrees here at uni, even our double degree options. However, there is additional selection criteria. So for example, students currently have to sit the LATs for law, music you have to do an audition, as well as medicine you have to do the UCAT. There is a few other ones, but I strongly recommend you go onto our website and find the specific ones for your specific degree.
Yeah, definitely. I guess website's always a good source to lean on. Because you're looking at entry requirements, you're probably also wanting to know about any kind of adjustment factors. So, Arnav, did you want to quickly touch on those?
Yeah, so some terminology you might see on our website and across our undergrad guides is going to be selection rank and your ATAR. So what do these terms really mean? Well, your selection rank is just your ATAR plus any adjustment factors added on. So your selection rank is what the university is going to use to see whether you're competitive for your choice of which degree you want to study. And within those adjustment factors, there's a few that can be applicable. There's some that are applied themselves, like HSC+, but there's some that you might need to apply for yourself, like the Educational Access Scheme or the EAS. And with the EAS, a lot of them are very particular to your circumstances. So to see if any of them are eligible to you, I'd really recommend jumping online and seeing the full list of what circumstances are considered. And if any of them apply to you, definitely apply for that.
Yeah, definitely. And we might get people that are on the online chat to just drop in those adjustment factor links so they're easily accessible for you all. Another one here, kind of leaning into entry into UNSW. Do we offer any early offers? So I think there's two main ones. Kelly, did you want to touch on those?
So there is Gateway, which is for our students either attending a Gateway school or or living in a low socioeconomic area, dependent on the SEPA criteria, or for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students. So there is that main pathway which offers early offers as well as early conditional offers. However, there is a secondary one where you're able to get an early conditional offer through our portfolio entries for arts, design and architecture, as well as the Faculty of Engineering. But there's also the critical thinking and learning skills for the criminology and criminal justice scheme. For additional ones, they might need a portfolio or a video, and I'd strongly recommend going into the websites for those ones because it might take a little bit of time to talk about them all.
Yeah, definitely. So do your homework. And also just to add, the application rounds for round 1 are open now, and they wrap up around the end of July. And then the next round 2, especially for the Gateway, as and Annika mentioned earlier, the second round opens early September. So just for your reference there. So when students are, I guess some of the questions that are flowing in here around, I guess, degrees, they're wanting to know what double degrees can they do, and I guess how do you find what double degree matches with what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Anna, I'll throw it to you. Hopefully
That's a
you
good
understand that question.
Yeah. So just thinking about what double degree options there are, and before I've even heard about what you might be thinking, I'd say it's very likely that it is available. The amount of double degree options is massive. So if there's a double degree option you're thinking of, to do, if you did want to confirm whether it's available, just go onto the UNSW website or just Google UNSW and then the 2 degrees you're after, and you'll likely see something come up with the handbook for the actual particular program that you want to apply for. But that said, have a think about what you're interested in, and it's very likely that it will be available.
Yeah, I think UNSW, it definitely encourage the double degree, gives you double the skills as well. Yeah. And it's very helpful for those that are in two minds with what area they're wanting to go into. Mm-hmm. So that particular tool is the Degree Finder, just for your reference as well. Having a look now, some of the students' questions are focusing on, I guess, once they're here at UNSW. So I've got one here. How can I join a society or club in my first year at uni? Were you guys involved in those?
Yeah.
I think it's really, really easy because we have something called Orientation Week or O Week, foreshortened, and all of our clubs and societies come out. My society also comes out during O Week, and we have free merch for students who are in their first year. So we really promote just an inclusive culture and also a place for you to call home. So for example, there's 3 types of societies. So there's faculty societies, probably Anna, you've also been in one as well. It's ones which are aligned to your degree. And then there's also sporting clubs, so for social sport as well as a competitive sport that you can compete against other universities. And also really fun ones like hobby and like hobby societies. So for example, like cat or dog appreciation society, or like if you like Taylor Swift, there's a Swiftie society. So there's a place for everyone. I've been a part of it myself for my like whole duration of my degree, and it also gives you opportunities for you to show your leadership as well. So like I'm currently president in my society, and it's like a whole lot of fun because you can like organize the team and also like make your visions come to life. But yeah, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm currently involved with the Investing for Charity Society. So that's slightly on the more hobby side, where just some people that like volunteering and that philanthropic side of things. But I've been involved with the Actuarial Society, so it keeps me connected with what's going on within my degree, within the field that I want to pursue a career in. So there is that benefit of, something to have fun, something to make some friends, but also stay grounded with what you're studying and what opportunities there are for you there.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're transitioning into that first year and doing those, I guess, signing up to those clubs and societies, how did you guys find that balance between study and then also taking on, I guess, almost like an extra hobby or curriculum within that structure? So did you find that hard to find the balance, or were you okay?
I found it pretty okay because all of my classes were pretty spaced out. So for example, my lab would be 3 hours and then I have 3 hours in between before another workshop. It's a really good way for you to be able to be like, oh, is anyone on campus, and kind of fill your time in. The contact hours with societies are pretty per society. So for example, my society, there's like a 1 hour meeting per week. However, everything else is done either online or through other platforms. But yeah, I found it really, really easy because everyone knows it's a volunteer society. If you need to take a break, you can. So it's pretty good. Like, I think it's worth trying and worth looking into because overall, like, some of my best friends are from societies, so I'd strongly recommend it.
Yeah. Just on that last point, I definitely agree. Some of my best friends at university are also from the societies that I've been involved with. And just within those societies, you often have friends that study the same degree. So if it's from your faculty society, then for sure. But even if it's from a hobby side society, you can find friends that study the same thing as you. And so although you're meeting them through the society, having a bit of fun, you can also look back on them and look for support there when it comes to the actual study, the academic side of things. So I think there's a strong link between, balancing the study and balancing the society. They're not completely separate things.
Yeah, okay, good to know. So diving in, more questions. I'm trying to group all the questions together. I heard UNSW has a trimester system. How does this work? Arnab, did you want to dive into, I guess, the structure?
Yeah, so we've got a 3+ system, as we call it. So 3 terms, each with 10 weeks, including a week in week 6 where you get a break just to catch up on your assignments, get prepared for, the later half of the term that's coming up, whereas all your assignments tend to be due. And there's also a 2-week exam block within each of those terms. And the 3+, the plus comes from the optional summer term. So you can do up to 2 courses over the summer and 3 courses in every term.
Amazing. I do want to, launch some exciting news as well. From 2028, we are introducing a new academic calendar called the Flex Semester Model. And this is really into response from the education sector. The students' needs are constantly evolving, and we're trying to constantly remain at the forefront of that and ensure that our students are meeting and enjoying their experience at UNSW. So that will affect the students that are commencing in 2026 or 2027. Some of them will be a part of the UNSW 3+ semester, and then they'll transition into the new Flex model. And we're very excited to be launching that. So that will be the 2 12-week semesters. And then, of course, it's coupled with the winter and the summer terms as well. So very exciting news and a lot of opportunity there for our, hopefully, new UNSW students that will come through and join us. Of course, I'll get the staff members in the wings to drop in a link there so you can read a little bit more about that exciting news. All right, let's dive into more campus questions. I guess we can speak to your experience at the moment. So how often are students on campus, and what did your timetable look like for that first year?
Yeah, I think for engineering, your first year is really to do with collaboration. So for example, my first terms were 3 to 4 days on campus, just because you have to do a lot of group projects. You also have to do a lot of contact hours in terms of lectures. But I also worked during my first year, and I still continue to do so.
Wow, superstar.
So I am currently, I worked part-time, so I actually watched all of my lectures recorded. But it also allows you to ask questions after the lecture. So it's really up to you and really, really flexible, but around 3 to 4 days a week.
Yeah. And well, my experience has been quite varied. And a lot of that because ever since COVID happened, we've had a hybrid option for almost every course that I've done. So there's an option to do it online and there's an option to do it in person. So depending on how busy I've been or how difficult the subjects are, I do switch around, but it's varied between, 1 or 2 days in some terms to up to 3 or 4 days in other terms.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you both. I'm reading here, are there any exchange opportunities at UNSW within the degrees? Arnav, did you want to add to that?
So I haven't been on exchange myself, but my sister went on exchange. And there's so many opportunities. I've got a lot of friends applying, a lot of friends that have recently been, and all of that just comes down to over 300 exchange partners that UNSW has. So any country you're thinking of, we've likely got an exchange partner. My sister went to the United States for an entire year during her study.
Amazing.
And, you know, my mum's loved it too because she came back and she was a lot more independent than when she left. So there's a lot of skills to pick up. There's a lot of fun to be had. And, you know, from all my friends and from my sister that I've heard nothing bad about it and only good things and a lot of good memories that they've made.
Yeah, of course. A whole other world, really.
Yeah.
Did she come back with an accent?
Thankfully not.
All right, also having a look at the questions, we've got some around internships and placement opportunities. Have you guys been on internships or any kind of placements?
Yeah. So for engineering, we have to do 60 days of industrial training. So it's embedded within our degree. And there are two pathways to get an internship. There's one where you apply to the company directly. So you go through the interview process and go through all of that. However, there's also our career accelerator, and there's also a few other avenues like in place for UNSW students to be able to find internship opportunities. I went through the traditional route, I guess, where I applied directly. And I've gotten to do a software internship at Commonwealth Bank. So like one of the banks that also sponsor our university. So yeah, there's two ways to get into. And then I also do a vacationer program. So same as an internship at KPMG as an engineering consultant. Where I'm able to like find kind of opportunities for business clients and kind of bring their ideas to life. And I was fortunate enough to get a part-time, so I'm still working there to this day. However, these opportunities allow you to also gain like graduate opportunities. It's also a pathway for you to be able to kind of see if that industry is for you. And yeah, you can kind of pick and choose kind of what teams you go into for specific companies. So for example, like Commonwealth Bank, I spent half of the time with Arnav because we like so happen to have the same like kind of office area. But yeah.
Yeah, so as Kelly just mentioned, my first internship was also at the Commonwealth Bank. I was in the business banking side and, you know, catch up with Kelly for lunch every now and then. We had good fun. And my pathway to those internships was quite similar, where I applied to the company directly myself. However, I do know that UNSW has their own job board where you can find some opportunities. And as part of the Bachelor of Commerce program, it's actually mandatory to do a work placement before you graduate. So that work placement just emphasizes that aspect of employability and just making you a really good and competitive graduate when you do apply. And so in the following year, I also did an internship at EY in the actuarial team. So both of my internships have been really rewarding, and it gives you that opportunity to put what you've learnt in the classroom to, you know, the real field and what it's like out there in the real workplace. So definitely a great opportunity, whether you apply for it yourself or you go through university. Either way, something I'd definitely look into.
Yeah, of course. Get it under your belt before you, you know, spread your wings and launch yourselves into the world. That's fabulous, and what amazing opportunities for both of you. All right, let's take it back. There's questions around, I guess, students wanting to be keen students wanting to be super prepared for university. So is there anything at the moment they could be doing now in Year 12 for the remainder of this year, preparing themselves for any university?
I feel like you should definitely check out all of the admission criteria for certain universities. So for example, we don't have prerequisites, but other universities might. So also checking out like the admission pathways. So for example, we have Gateway, we also have portfolio entry, and a lot of them do need either your year 10 or 11 report, as well as like a personal statement or any additional things that you might need to do. So for example, music is a video of yourself and a video audition. So I would recommend you before September, especially apply for UAC and apply for your UAC number, because that also allows you to get a lot of scholarships as well. But definitely just look into like what you need to prepare, especially if it's like a video or a portfolio, and making sure that you're ahead of the game in terms of kind of asking people questions as well. So like our inquiry team, like making sure that you're getting all the nitty-gritty questions as well, and anything like that.
Yeah, I like that. Bit of groundwork
Yeah.
throughout year 12 before you start doing and applying. What about you, Arnav? Any kind of advice there?
I think Kelly's hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Just thinking about, the actual opportunities out there. But also, I guess between now and the time you actually lock in your UAC preferences, just keep thinking about what you do want to do with the rest of your life. Thinking about, what career interests you, what field of study really interests you. Of course, it's not the end of the day. If you choose something and you realize it's not for you, there's a lot of opportunity to transfer into something else. But having those thoughts early can help those thoughts, you sleep on it, you think about whether it's for you. Sometimes you think it's for you today, and then a week later you think, oh, no, that's not what I want to go into. So just having those thoughts a little bit early, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to your career advisor, and just, spend some time alone thinking about it. Write it down if you need to. Anything you need to do to just help go through that thought process and really decide what interests you.
Yeah, I like that. Speaking to those almost like support groups. What do I do best? What do you think I could do? I'm enjoying this. Where do you think it could take me? All of those types of questions. It's good to throw yourself out there and ask. Okay, so I guess there's a few more questions coming through the chat, and of course our staff members will be answering those. We will kind of wrap up, but just understanding that you're about to finish your degrees, our Year 12 audience are about to go through that heavy exam period. Did you have, I guess, any study advice for Year 12 students?
Study advice. I would recommend kind of finding between now and then what your study habits are. So for example, if you thrive studying in a group or you thrive studying by yourself, me in particular, I am such a talker when I'm with my friends, so I need to put myself in a cubicle and just do the work. Also knowing how you respond to questions, or how you kind of adapt to different HSC questions. I think it's really good for you to kind of know how your study style is, because that can also help you and benefit you in the long run. Because I remember at the start of Year 12, because we just came out of a lockdown, I really wanted to spend time with a lot of friends, and I got no studying done. So I would highly recommend that. Yeah. Knowing how you study and how you actually absorb information is good.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Arnav?
I think with studying, if you find yourself studying a lot throughout the day, at least me personally, when I went to bed at night, it'd be hard to sleep because I haven't really tired myself out in any way, just sitting at a desk all day. So I'd really recommend take the opportunity to move around a little bit, whether you're playing some sport, whether you're just going for a walk outside, or, helping out in the garden with mum and dad, whoever it might be, whatever it might be, just get moving, and that not only make you feel a little bit better, get that fresh air in, but I think it helps you sleep a lot better as well.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
That's something I'd recommend.
Yeah, just completely exhaust yourself.
Yeah.
They're all the questions that we can answer for this evening, but up on the screen here, we are highlighting the yellow tickets. So this is a VIP yellow ticket competition. Just scan the QR code and let us know in 25 words or less how you would like to make progress in the world. Our lucky winners, there'll be 6 winners, are, I guess, almost VIPs for Open Day. So we will take you behind the scene on tours. We'll have a merch pack for you. We'll even look at kind of Ubering you to and from. So definitely take up that opportunity. If you did have any further questions this evening, please get into contact with our inquiries team. They would love to hear from you. I believe the number is just up on the screen there, so please give us a call between 9 and 4, Monday to Friday. We would love to hear from you. But for now, thank you for joining our Year 12 information session, and bye from us.